Okay, hello and welcome to the community meeting. Today we have July 28th, 2022, and we have one topic on our agenda. Is the author of the topic here? Or
Yeah, I authored the topic, but apologies because I forgot that Benjamin is in Beijing time zone. So feel free to discuss another topic.
I mean,
Or if anyone can add anything to it, any concerns. So I'm asking in general. So just a little about myself. I recently joined the efforts to contribute to etcd, and currently I'm finding my way around and figuring out how to prioritize things. That's partly why I asked that question.
okay. Have you looked on GitHub?
Yes, I have already made a couple of changes, but this is a more general question, higher level question.
So higher level question, when this list is finished, which from to my knowledge only now includes one blocker, this one, we will start qualifying, like the or I heard there's Benjamin already asked Daniel to run the tests. When that's done, I expect within a week we'll cut the release. Does that answer your question, or are you interested in some particular?
Yeah, I was also wondering if there was going to be another 3.4 release.
Are you asking about release management?
No, I was wondering if after that ticket, there will be another release for 3.4.
I mean, when we find enough issues to continue to motivate it. So
I see.
officially, if you go, where is it? I would go to the main code base. I recently moved that. It's in documentation, contributor guide, releases. We have two official release maintained. Benjamin is the maintainer and manager for the 3.4. I'm for 3.5. The cycle is up to the manager, but usually I asked, like this release, I think Benjamin just resurrected 3.4 releases or took over the work. So we are just like figuring out how much work is it, because no one looked at it for over a year. The cut off for 3.4.19 was minimal, just to test the pipeline and push some critical fixes. The 3.4.20 was requested somewhat by me, but also there's still so many issues that were delayed from the the previous one, because we didn't want to overcommit. So I expect if you have already candidates for it and there's at least one critical bug, we will immediately start the cycle. This is what happened with 3.4.19. We immediately started another cycle for release, and I hope until we churn all the bugs or the critical bugs, we will repeat the cycle.
Okay. Thank you.
So one comment for the 19. I went through all the PRs that were merged into 3.5, and it's not here, but I linked the table of potential things to be backported, and I think that's all was addressed. So majority of the stuff on that list was complete. So yeah, this nuisance kind of emerged on the 3.4.20, but in terms of I think backport instance, we don't really have anything that I know of. I mean, unless somebody requests a certain feature, and in that case, it's also questionable whether we should, proceed, because we want people to move to 3.5, unless it's like a critical issue. Correct.
Yeah, so all the critical issues that we currently are open affect both 3.4 and 3.5. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I recommend looking into label important. I didn't pin it. So there's a couple of bugs. Important, I think the ones that are, I don't know if all of them, at least the first three affect both. Those are bugs. First three are bugs, and they affect both releases. So, yeah, I expect when we have those reproduced and fixed, we will start the next release. That would be the closest time I would predict it. Any other questions about the release, the upcoming release or releases? I also want to...
Maybe one more thing that we should think about is when to sunset the 3.4. I know that was discussed before, but so we decided to keep two releases as similar to how it's done, I think, for Kubernetes.
I mean, yeah, I think that the cycle was even prolonged because there was maintainer just working on maintaining 3.3. It's just we looked into. I basically brought it up and looked. Either we have a release manager or we don't support the release. Thankfully, to Benjamin came up or stood up and proposed. Within quick time, he grew into maintainer and became the release manager for 3.4, because we cannot, like, that was about breaking promises, so we cannot say we support 3.4 when no one is looking at it.
Right. More about there are certain kind of substantial differences now between the 3.4 and the main in terms of the, let's say, the certain code moved around.
Yes.
The testing is kind of a little bit different.
Yes.
So it's getting harder, I think, to switch between.
I mean, I agree. The plan was at the beginning of this year, I proposed to release 3.6 and move the window because it was getting really costly to we were not even sure if we would be able to support 3.4 at all. We needed to change all CI, build it, validate it from ground zero, fix all the flags, fix all the release scripts. We didn't know, but because of problem, we cannot move forward with 3.6 until we are sure we are stable. So that was our only option to maintain 3.4.
Yeah, I'm saying that's, I agree, totally agree with the current plan, but just I guess for the future, maybe we should think about when we're gonna. So I guess what you're saying is basically when we release the 3.6, then the 3.4 will be a candidate for sunsetting.
Yes, I mean, usual. Maintainers, we have two maintainers that are release managers, so we will need to move the maintainers, shift them to start maintaining 3.6. The work is non-trivial, size of the work is non-trivial, so I don't want to push too much work on any maintainer. We are already using, like, we are already pushing this additional work that is substantial for everyone involved. So yeah, when we move, the move to 3.6, I expect will be, I mean, until Kubernetes really kicks us to upgrade, and they will want to, there is a motivation to that. We will not do it. We will postpone it as much until we are fully qualified 3.6. I mean, we have a qualification that makes sure that 3.6 is in better, at least in the same or better state than 3.4 and 3.5.
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
Any other questions? I mean, there's also a plan for 3.5 if someone's to fix issues in 3.5, if someone is interested in, but it's, unfortunately, I'm only one looking into those, so it's getting slowly. Okay, let's go to the second topic. Bogdan, I assume you have a lot of things to.
So I think since there's not much topics to discuss, so I just put my there. So this one is I was trying to because I'm trying to help out with various issues. So I actually was I was out for a couple of weeks, but before I was working on the 3.4.19, trying to help out there. I also have one PR for 3.5/main, which is the panic in transactions, and just trying to understand what are the. So I think with the 3.4.20 wrapping up, I'm just trying to understand what are the things to focus on, because there's the help wanted bucket, and then there's your important list. So I guess the important takes the priority.
I mean, yes. The only problem is that I don't expect anyone aside of maintainers or someone really knowledgeable to do it. So that's why there is no help wanted there. So yeah, the important things are definitely on the top of the list. The only thing that I treat more important because it fits into the other is one of the postmortem. I mean, the issues that are listed in important are reports of potential issues that someone discovered. They haven't been reproduced. Historically, usually we have two cases: either there is a disk corruption or there is really disk inconsistency. Problem is, until we have a good data corruption detection, we cannot distinguish it. So that's why I cannot confirm. It's not easy to confirm that those issues are reproducible, or at least the ones here reported are done by Jepsen. So they are reproducible, but it's hard to guess how easy it is reproduced in natural production environment. It's those two cases are using lazyFS, which means they're simulated downtime or simulated disk manipulation. So you can say that it's hard to guess if you could in previous data corruption cases, we reproduced it by killing the server in particular load, in particular workload. We were able to find it. Now it's not clear. So yeah, if you're able to look into those two or trying to reproduce it, that would be really those three really helpful. I don't know if that's even possible. It's just someone. The problem is someone comes in and says, "Oh, I found data corruption. Can we It's really hard without proper tooling. It's really hard to reproduce it." So my focus is for 3.5 to make data corruption data corruption detection. So, but this is something that I've wrote the design or I proposed the design and implemented it already, and I'm backporting to 3.5. And we are backporting somewhat a feature, an enable feature, just to make sure that if people enable it, then when data corruption will be detected, they will be detected immediately or much faster. So that's the goal.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. All right, I'll just follow, I guess, the discussions on those issues. I'll try to reproduce it, but yeah, I think there's like a low chance that that'll be possible. Okay.
Yeah, whatever you can, like always, like whatever you can take, check and like at least say, oh, you spent, I know you looked at it, you spent X amount of time to try to do something similar and you failed. It's already a huge information for us, because like time spent to reproduce proves that it's harder to proving that it's harder to reproduce also means that it might be a rare case, but it's always until we have the corruption detection fixed, that will be still like unknown. Yeah, so that's on my like I don't think like on my priority is fixing data corruption. Second one is releasing 3.5.5. That I expect that after we release 3.4 fixes, we will prioritize on that. And the third thing that we already are discussing between maintainers, or it's if you look at the issues in what is one of the issues, but we like just repeated to confirm, is investing in the qualification. I mean, the qualification doesn't work. We need a proper qualification, which was also proposed as one of the issues. That I'm assigned to, so, or I created and I'm assigned to. Yeah, this one. So this is my important issue. So like we should have something, but like we should qualify and not allow such issues to repeat. So that would be my next. I'm happy to discuss it, but it's still on. I'm building a POC of that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. That sounds good. And then this is the so the change is very simple, but we have some back and forth about the testing it. So just want to get the confirmation that the current decision is to just move away from the integration test. So remove the integration test because it seems like it's maybe a little bit too complicated, and just do the unit test, and which I'm fine doing, but just want to make sure that that this hopefully will be the final iteration of this pull request. I think you're not really, maybe you're not the best person to talk about it, because I don't think you've been on this too much.
Yes, sorry. I usually, when I see two maintainers discussing already issue, I'm feeling that that's enough people on that. So I think we are spread around. We would spread to think it. I didn't look at it, so I would. If I can help with integration. I hope, or I think I'm the person the most knowledgeable about integration. So if you need a help or have a question about why it doesn't work with integration, that or one of the maintainers is requesting something that doesn't work, or yeah.
I think we just had a sort of more like philosophical discussion about what's the what is readable, what is not. I think that it works in the current way. So the test is reliable. It might be a little bit complicated because the way it's doing the setup. So anyway, I guess my only question about this is, so Piotr, he's like he's been a little bit less active recently. Do you know if he's
Piotr? Yeah, this is a problem with holidays. I know because of working at the same company. I know Piotr is out till October. So,
Okay, good to know.
yeah, pretty.
So then I think then we just figure this out with Benjamin. I think he can merge this, right? If he decides to do.
Yeah, I mean, like I assume one maintainer with feedback from the other is enough to, if it's this is a fix, so with test. My preference would be always have not depend on unit test, always have an integration of end-to-end test. Like either works, I hope to have them easier to write, but the main problem is if you are working on things that something that I expect you want to backport, or you already mentioned backporting, the problem is whatever we put into the main has much more advanced testing already, or advanced, simple to use compared to the old one, but
Right.
backporting, you need to also backport frame. I already am proposing to backport parts of the new framework because it's impossible to write tests.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. That's all for me.
Okay. Yeah. So I would mainly depend on. I can fill him for Piotr, but because he will not respond. But okay. Also, priorities. So how to find important? I have a list of issues with important label without me as an author. Yeah. So if anyone is also interested in the topic, I recommend this. Okay. Any other topics that we have so many, over 10 people? Are there any questions? Anyone new that wants to say hello? I've seen one person, but they want to talk. I think that's we have still 5 minutes, so if feel free to still use it.
Well, I'm kind of a new guy, so hello everyone. So yeah, my name is Ramses Morales, and I work currently for VMware. So Benjamin is my colleague.
Oh, that's great. Happy to see or meet more VMware people.
Yeah,
would love to see more. I would love to see people also from other companies more, because it's great. The support from VMware was really, I think it's really great. I really appreciate it. I think, yeah. So,
hello, I'm new. My name is Inrong. I work at Microsoft currently in the Azure org, and someone in the Azure Kubernetes services mentioned that the SCD project could, if I'm interested, I could help out and get involved with the project. So I would love to help out any way that I can and get involved.
Sure. Sound welcome. If you need any help, please ping us, because our documentation for contributors already were confirmed to be lacking. So I think I have an issue open, or someone recently opened proposal. I think we agreed that we should update the documentation for new. So if you have any problems with documentation, please reach out to me. I'm also working with Paris to get someone to help us with documentation from CNCF. If you have any feedback, what we are missing, what we should fill in, be frank about it. And we definitely so there is a lot of things to do. I really appreciate to understand what is the first thing that is blocking you to be efficient at working. or at contributing to etcd. And my first thing on the mind is similar to, like, for people that are not familiar with Kubernetes, contribution would be to write a contributor guide and collect all the resources that we have. There are some resources, videos, presentation, and overall, but there's no one source of truth. So I would start with that. If that would be already useful for you, let me know. I will prioritize it.
Thank you. I do want to ask, how can I find kind of like good first issue to work on? Because I know you mentioned the important label, but those seems to be a higher priority.
I mean, the important things are important but hard.
Yes.
The problem is, like I mentioned, I don't know if even like some things would be even hard for maintainers to do. It's just time. They not only require a lot of knowledge, but also a lot of time or resources. So I would start with help wanted label. Like there is a lot. I spammed it a lot just to interest people. I am leading the one effort to make tests. So I've seen really easy onboarding to this issue. So people like first contributions making sense here. So we are basically fixing up the testing. We have duplicated code in testing. So this is my suggestion, but also I'm biased because this is what I proposed. But it's really simple. I've seen like there is a lot of work, but each one of those files is like 20, 30 lines of code that is independent, and at least shows you what are parts of etcd, what we are testing, and how we are testing it. And look at and try to check the others. Oh, this is second page. Yeah. Is there anything else? I'm also looking for. We have a lot of features that are abandoned, went in experimentally abandoned. So if someone could look into, is interested in particular feature, I know you need it at, would be great to have it at, in your case, Azure or something. I would really appreciate if we can graduate it. So graduating basically, or stabilize it, means propose set of what would be the best case for this feature, what can we do to make it default, how we can make sure that it's properly tested, because some of those features are experimental because no one cared to add tests. Yeah, so if you want to own a feature, one of those features, that would be great, because we have too many features that are incompliant, or like if we reduce number of choices, it should be easier to track and maintain the default project. Yeah, and other are like random things I would go through top.
So by the way, for the experimental sense, so in some of them I tried to find the original contributor and like reach out to them, or tag them in the comments. So the idea is that maybe if they want to proceed and kind of improve it, then that'll be good. If they don't reply, then I think it's safe to just take over the flag.
I mean, I would not care about the original author, because most of those features were introduced in 3.5, pre-3.4, which is 5 years old.
Okay.
I don't like, if they were interested, that was long time ago. If there is someone assigned, I would, and I will not point and not continuing the work. I would ask them to if you can be reassigned, but I would, if there is no one assigned to the issue, I'm assuming no one is working on it. If that was not clear, I think I could fix the description of the issues, because this is overall track, or that was proposed as part of the issue that we cannot like drop track of changes. If there is part of this that is about, hey, we should have a similar process to Kubernetes, which is graduating features and not keeping features in experimental or alpha state because people want to use it or some of them are important. If someone is also interested in, I need to write this down as a official process. If someone is interested into this, this is more code organization experience. That is also huge work. So fixing documentation, making processes written down. For me, it's easy to propose it, but now sit down and write it down to make some sense that the process that everyone complies to is hard. We are over the time. We finished all the topics. That's great. Thanks everyone for meeting, and hello Ramses and Ingrog. And
Hello.
I think there was also one person that introduced. Thanks everyone for seeing us, for talking to us, to me, and for everyone. Hope to see you on the next meeting, and have a great local time.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.